Hello and welcome back. Here we are, part 10. It's been a long road to get us here. I am still working on that revisit video. I've decided to focus only on the episodes that were recaps. I believe that was the first 5 parts. If I did all 10, the video would be 5 or 6 hours long. And I think that might be a bit much. But anyway, let's get on to part 10, shall we? Our first segment is titled Strung Along from Season 4, Episode 14, originally airing on September 2nd, 1992. Our story starts in a dimly lit living room, where Joseph Renfield, an aging puppeteer with a face etched by time, sits hunched in an armchair. He's lost in grainy black and white footage of his old TV show, watching his beloved puppets, Coco the Clown and Cowboy Clyde, trade silly banter about a dog in a no-barking zone. The laugh track echoes as Joseph's eyes glimmer with nostalgia. He whispers to himself about how those were the golden days, back when everyone adored Coco. The sound of Ellen, his much younger wife, swimming with her friend, snaps him back to the present. Joseph watches from the window, smiling as she waves to him. You can tell the past is weighing heavy on Joseph's soul.
Can't get him out of the house.
We see Joseph, alone in a room filled with memories, carving a new puppet head, almost out of habit rather than hobby. He converses with Coco about how it's coming along.
Want my opinion?
Not especially.
How about taking a little more off the top?
Nobody asked you, Coco.
You've been carving that same head now for 2 months. You'll make those cheekbones any higher.
No, damn it. Don't say it. The last thing I want to hear from you is I told you so.
Their conversation stops when Ellen enters the room. She has a talk with Joseph about how he has been acting lately. As Ellen leaves, Joseph begins to read a letter. With excitement in his eyes, he runs out of his puppet cave, knocking on the window to get Ellen to come back inside so he can share some incredible news. A TV studio wants to bring Joseph and Coco back for a tribute show titled The Golden Age of Television.
This is incredible. They want me for a tribute to the golden age of television.
What?
Yes, for a television special. They want me to do one of the old Coco and Clyde routines.
Now, wait a minute. Do you think you're up for this? I mean, they're not giving you much notice.
Up to it? Why, I could do it in my sleep. Ellie, this is what I need. I'm going out of my head. I mean, who knows? This could be the beginning of a comeback.
Well, now, let's not blow it out of proportion. It's just a TV show.
He's practically glowing, talking about how they want him back. But she just smirks as he shows genuine excitement for the first time in a long time. Filled with wonder, Joseph dreams that this might lead to him coming back with his own TV show again. Ellen tells him not to get ahead of himself. Later that night, as the two are about to go to sleep, Ellen, seeming concerned, suggests that maybe Joseph should check with a doctor to make sure he's healthy enough to do this. Joseph brushes the idea off, saying he hasn't felt this good in years. Ellen then suggests that Joseph at least get an assistant to help him prep for the big, upcoming show. She says she'll talk to her acting coach for suggestions. As Joseph kisses her goodnight, the camera centers on Ellen's face. Her smile drops, giving us a hint that not all is well. Is she genuinely worried about her husband's health? Or is there something darker happening behind the curtain? The next morning brightens as Joseph, now full of purpose, is filled with renewed life. Ellen brings in David, a young puppeteer with bright eyes and a deep admiration for Joseph and Coco's work. Finding Joseph missing from his workshop, Ellen assures David she'll find him. Eager like a child in a candy store, David marvels at the objects surrounding him, but just as he's about to touch a puppet, a voice playfully warns him off.
Don't touch him! You don't know where he's been.
Who is that?
Who do you want it to be?
After exchanging a few words, Joseph discovers that David is an animatronic puppeteer. He asserts that the old way of puppetry is superior, viewing them as an extension of the puppeteer. However, David's fondness for the classic puppet style from Joseph's show prompts him to express eagerness to learn. Later, Joseph, while passing by, catches Ellen having a conversation over the phone with someone named Rick. The conversation, it seems, bears significance, yet Ellen dismisses it as a routine call from her acting class. Seeking to shift the topic, she inquires if Joseph finds his new assistant adequate for the task.
David, I think you'll be fine.
Great.
What?
I don't know, he just seemed too eager.
You don't like him? I thought you should...
No, he's fine. Comes highly recommended. He just struck me as being too pushy.
There appears to be an underlying tension between Joseph and Ellen, as evident when Joseph attempts to persuade Ellen to stay for dinner, only to be met with a sharp response.
Well, it's the only chance I get to get out of the house. You may like being shut in, but I don't.
Later in the evening, Joseph confides in Coco, expressing his mounting apprehensions. On the following day, David and Joseph rehearse their routine. David continues to familiarize himself with manual puppet manipulation, occasionally feeling frustrated. Joseph offers guidance and passes on valuable tips. Ellen, however, seems strangely envious, observing how well David and Joseph are bonding during this period of preparation for the upcoming show.
Just back and forth real easy. Like this. See? Just don't force it.
It's amazing how you do that.
Thanks, kiddo. I've been in this business a long time. It should be amazing.
Joseph displays signs of physical strain, and the tension in his heart becomes more apparent. Sensing an underlying unease in the Renfield home, David approaches Joseph, hoping to offer support during this challenging time. Joseph confides in David, divulging his suspicion that his wife is being unfaithful.
Is there some kind of problem between you and Ellen? Do you want to talk about it?
I think there's someone in her acting class.
What do you mean? You think she's having an affair?
No, I'm being ridiculous. Let's get back to work.
Look, if you want, I can swing by your acting class on Wednesday night and I can check it out for you. It'd be no problem.
Wednesday night? Her acting class is on Tuesday night.
No. It used to be Tuesday night, but they changed it like a year ago. That's why I had to drop out.
That night, Joseph's worst fears are realized as he searches Ellen's dresser, stumbling upon a stack of love letters signed by the very name he heard on the phone the previous night, Rick. His hands tremble and Coco's voice echoes in his mind, validating his suspicions. As Joseph downs more and more alcohol, his mind grows increasingly receptive to Coco's sinister ideas on how to deal with Ellen's infidelity.
I should have listened to you, Coco. You knew.
It wasn't exactly hard to see coming. She's young and beautiful. You're just a tired old man.
What am I going to do?
You mean if you were you? Or if you were me?
I'll divorce her. Call my lawyer in the morning. I never want to see her again.
Divorce will cost you. I say you take matters into your own hands.
No, I can't. I can't.
Sure you can.
Waking up, Joseph realizes the knife is missing from his hand, and Coco is nowhere to be found. It seems the puppet has liberated himself using the blade while Joseph was passed out from his drinking. Joseph rushes upstairs, only to discover that his worst fears have materialized. The shock of witnessing Coco brutally stabbing his wife is more than Joseph can bear. His heart races uncontrollably, and he drops to his knees, desperately clutching at his chest, unable to conceive the horrific sight before him. Overwhelmed, Joseph collapses to the floor, his heart no longer able to withstand the strain of this harrowing ordeal. However, all is not quite as it appears. A door swings open, and David holding a remote control appears, towering over Joseph. Joseph's heart races, each beat bringing him closer to the end. In a mocking tone, David offers a feigned apology as he switches off the remote control. Awakening Ellen, she reveals that David is none other than Rick. With every labored breath, Joseph's life force dwindles away, as Ellen's true treachery is finally laid bare.
Joseph, this is Rick. He's a puppeteer just like you. Aren't you, baby?
Mm-hmm. So what do you think, Joe? I know it's not as graceful as what you do, but I think with a little money.
Your money. I think you'll end up pretty damn good.
Bye, Joe.
Ellen and Rick gleefully bask in the success of their sinister scheme. With one final, labored breath, Joseph's life slips away, leaving them to bathe in the satisfaction of their wickedness. Ellen proceeds to clean off the fake blood, and Rick retrieves the authentic Coco from its hiding place beneath the bed. As Rick reaches under the bed to retrieve Coco, he discovers that the puppet is nowhere to be found. His gaze shifts to the top of the bed, where Coco now sits, clutching a knife in his hand.
Paramedics are gonna be here any minute. Rick, what are you doing? You have to get out of here. This isn't funny.
Up here, kiddo.
You're not gonna believe this.
Yeah, I've seen just about everything.
Not like this, you haven't.
Strung Along is an adaptation of a story from the comic Vault of Horror number 33. This episode was directed by Kevin Yager, who is primarily known for his work as a special effects makeup artist. We've discussed him before on this channel when we explored the iconic horror movie Chucky. During that discussion, I mentioned that Kevin Yager actually designed both the Crypt Keeper and Chucky, giving them the same distinctly chilling blue eyes. Strung Along delves into themes of trust, betrayal, and the ambiguous boundary between reality and illusion, provoking mixed reactions upon its release. However, over time, it has gained a devoted cult following. The puppetry aspect deeply resonates with horror enthusiasts who have a penchant for psychological thrillers, particularly appreciating the impactful twist ending. The saying is proved true here: what goes around comes around. Our next story is titled 99 and 44 100% Pure Horror, from Season 6, Episode 14, originally airing on January 18th, 1995. We fade into a steamy bathroom, where Willa Sandleton, a striking blonde with a sharp tongue, luxuriates in the shower, water cascading over her. The door creaks open, and in shuffles her husband, Luden Sandleton, a jittery little man who runs Derma Smooth, a soap company. He's clutching his stomach, complaining about paint-stained clothes on the floor, and asking where the antacids are kept. Willa barely looks at him, telling him to check the cabinet and stop ruining her relaxation. He mutters about his indigestion getting worse and shuffles out, while she smirks to herself, turning up the hot water, clearly over this marriage. Luden sits watching a commercial of himself, talking about how his family started the company way back when. In the ad, Luden showcases a new soap machine that, at the press of a button, makes bars faster and more efficiently. He clunks 2 antacids into his drink as he watches himself on TV. Willa looks on at him as she exits the bathroom. Luden drops another antacid into his drink and even pops one in his mouth. Apparently, overproduction of acid runs in his family. Willa turns off the TV and begins sarcastically clapping.
Let's talk about the future.
Bravo.
They're showing it at the shareholders luncheon next week.
So, where's the future?
We haven't shot it yet. We've had problems. and sales are at an all-time low.
You're the president, Lou. Fire someone.
Yeah, well, we've been doing a lot of work getting ready for the luncheon, and market research indicates that your designs aren't scoring the kinds of points that they used to.
The next day, Willa is on a talk show. She's a guest along with Ronaldo Esquarita, an up-and-coming urban artist. Willa announces that she'll be doing a redesign on all Derma smooth art, but she has her disturbing art she wants to share. Before she can, however, she's cut off by the host.
This opportunity to debut my new art to the world, if you don't mind. This first painting,
Oops,
I call...
actually, we're out of time, Willa. I'm so sorry. When we come back, you're going to be meeting some very special children.
We're clear.
Brian, we got tape on those retarded kids that draw with their feet.
They're physically impaired, not retarded.
Whatever.
Excuse me. I thought you were going to show my work on the show. That's the reason I agreed to come on this program.
Are you nuts? The network won't let us show that gory goop on the air. Besides, who'd want to look at that first thing in the morning? Ronaldo, thanks for coming on the show. Can't wait to see yours.
Right on.
Willa returns home. Loudon breaks the news to Willa in their living room, telling her that her art will not be used on the new line of products, that they've instead closed on a contract with a certain up-and-coming urban artist.
I need to talk to you about the shareholders' luncheon tomorrow.
Oh, great. Because I have just finished with the last set of designs, and
I'm afraid we're not going to be able to use your stuff.
Why? Why not? You don't like them.
No, it's not that.
Damn it, Loudon. I created an image for your stupid company. You know, I turned it around. I think you owe me.
It was just business, Willa.
Then treat it like a business. Test the damn things. I have worked around the clock for 5 days straight. I think you could do a regional test. Something?
No, I'm sorry, but we've just closed a deal on an up-and-coming new artist. He's very hot now, and we're lucky to have him.
Who is it?
His name is Ronaldo Esquarita.
What?
Ronaldo Esquarita. You know him?
He's a graffiti artist! Loudon, I have studied. Do you understand me? Studied my whole life for this!
Now, Willa, calm down.
How dare you?
After throwing a temper tantrum like a child, Loudon coldly gets an envelope from his desk and gives the contents to Willa.
Boxes? Well, then I'm just gonna take your money. Half. Half sounds good to me. I'm entitled to it.
Sorry, it's come to this.
You son of a bitch!
Well, that's good. You let your anger out. No, I did. No, I realize that I'm probably as much to blame for this as you are. Now,
Loudon has photo evidence of her committing adultery, and he tells Willa that he's likely as much to blame as she is for their troubled marriage. As she tries to leave, Loudon tries to talk it over with her in an attempt to save their marriage. But Willa, in a fit of spite, grabs a heavy piece of decorative soap from the shelf and assaults Loudon with it.
Sorry, Lou. She got me on a bad day.
Caught off guard and dazed, he crumples to the floor, and she coldly continues to bring down blows, sealing his fate. Just as the deadly assault ends, the door buzzes. It's her side piece, wanting to come in and play another game of hide the snake. Willa, now with a dead body to dispose of, forcefully tells him to go away. However, her side piece is really insistent. Noticing that he's coming up no matter what she says, she rolls Loudon up in a carpet. As she tries to push the rolled up body, she realizes it's too heavy. So, she tricks her side piece into a game of accomplice instead.
Man, this stuff's looking realer every day.
It's a mixed media piece. It's a gift for Loudon. Now beat it.
Hey, wait a second. Promise me. Willa.
Said scram.
After driving to the Dermasmooth factory, Willa has a surprise waiting for her in the back seat.
Gee, Lou, you were never this lively before.
But after playing a game of whack-a-mole, Willa dumps Luden into a bubbling vat of soap mix, and strangely, she takes a disturbing amount of pleasure in watching him turn into bars of soap. Laughing to herself, she boxes up the bars and returns home. Afterward, she hops into the shower to rinse all the blood and grime off from the horrible crime she's committed. She notices there's no soap in the shower, so she grabs a bar of murder soap and makes a grim joke about Luden finally being able to shower with her, like he always wanted.
He always wanted to shower with me, Lou. Here's your chance.
As she lathers up with a fresh Derma-Smooth murder bar, she starts to notice that it's painful on her skin. She slowly begins to blister. She gasps, asking, "What's happening?" as she claws at her arms, which peel away in bloody strips. It turns out Luden did have a serious acid problem, after all. The episode ends on her gruesome artwork, now not only a piece of art, but a piece of poetic justice. Her actions have made her resemble her own creation. 99 and 44 100% Pure Horror is based on a story from the comic book Vault of Horror number 23. The episode's title is a nod to the old Ivory soap ad, which claimed their soap was 99 and 44 100% pure.
Rich, long-lasting suds that get dishes done so fast, and there's just nothing kinder to hands. Those rich, hard-working suds are Ivory Mild, 99 and 44 100% pure.
This clever play on words aligns with the episode's focus on a soap company. The episode has been a topic of discussion among fans and podcasters for its deeper meanings and practical gore. It leaves a feeling you just can't wash off. Our final segment is an episode titled Doctor of Horror, from Season 4, Episode 12, originally airing on January 4th, 1995. The story begins in a dimly lit morgue where two security guards, Richard and Charlie, are introduced. Their employer, Mr. Fisk, played by Ben Stein, is a stern and unsympathetic figure who reprimands them for their lackadaisical attitude toward their duties. Fisk's demeanor sets the tone for the guards' dissatisfaction with their monotonous and underpaid jobs.
Count on us, sir.
No, I can't. You're useless, low-life shitheads. If there's so much as a coffin handle missing in the morning, you are fired.
Son of a bitch, who do you think you're talking to? Put his stupid ass on a slab.
As the night progresses, Richard and Charlie's routine is disrupted when they encounter Dr. Orloff attempting to steal a corpse from the morgue.
Hey! Hey!
Dr. Orloff is an eccentric scientist obsessed with the notion that the human soul resides within the pineal gland, and he believes he can extract it from the recently deceased. Caught in the act, Orloff offers the guards 500 each to assist him in his unorthodox experiments. Despite initial reservations, the allure of easy money convinces Richard and Charlie to accept the offer. The trio transports the cadaver to Orloff's makeshift laboratory, a grim setting filled with medical paraphernalia and a freezer stocked with previous failed attempts. Orloff's obsession with locating the soul leads him to perform gruesome dissections, all in vain. Recognizing an opportunity for financial gain, Richard proposes a more sinister plan, to provide Orloff with fresher specimens by targeting the living. Charlie, though hesitant and morally conflicted, is swayed by Richard's persuasive arguments and the promise of substantial rewards. Emboldened by greed, Richard and Charlie embark on a killing spree, luring unsuspecting victims under the guise of offering assistance. Each subsequent murder deepens the guards' descent into depravity, with Richard displaying increasing ruthlessness and Charlie grappling with his waning conscience. Charlie's internal struggle reaches a climax when he decides to withdraw from their murderous pact, unable to reconcile his actions with his conscience. Viewing Charlie's change of heart as a liability, Richard deceitfully leads him to Orloff's lab under the pretense of discussing their future endeavors. There, Richard betrays Charlie, rendering him unconscious and presenting him to Orloff as the next experimental subject.
Charlie. I knew you were gonna do something stupid like that. That's why you're drinking ether. Whew. Still alive, just like you wanted. You gonna cut him up?
Just the usual incision. Oh, don't be so disappointed. Once I remove the gland, you can cut to your heart's content.
Orloff proceeds with the dissection, fixated on extracting the elusive soul from Charlie.
Extraordinary. The better the soul, the stronger the light. I must preserve this immediately.
Doc?
You do what you want. You're my assistant now.
In a disturbing twist, Charlie is reanimated post-mortem, now devoid of his soul and humanity. Transformed into a vengeful entity, he confronts Richard and Orloff, seeking retribution for their betrayal.
Pull back the skin and cut through to the muscle. Right, Doctor?
Charlie, no! Charlie, what are you doing, man? Come on!
Not much. I'm just going to play God. I'm gonna steal your soul, Richard.
Oh, no! Charlie, come on! You don't want to hurt me. Come on, you're good.
On the contrary, Richard. I was good. You stole my soul, remember?
Charlie, no! Charlie, no!
The episode Doctor of Horror was based on a story of the same name from Vault of Horror number 13. Country music fans might recognize Travis Tritt, who played the character Charlie in this episode. The episode was directed by Larry Wilson, a co-writer of iconic films such as Beetlejuice and The Addams Family. Tales from the Crypt was renowned for its practical effects, and this episode is a shining example of those gory and gruesome effects put into practice. When everyone and their mother uses computer graphics for horror, it's nice to go back and experience the effects that made so many of us fall in love with the horror genre in the first place. Before I end things here, I just want to say I appreciate each and every one of you. There will be a bonus episode revisiting the first 5 parts but with added details, like I've been doing with the recent installments. I was going to try and do all 10 parts, but I found there's not much more info on the episodes than I've already provided, and the video would be nearly 5 hours long. I know you guys enjoy these videos, but 5 hours is a bit too much, so that revisit will cover the first 5 parts, updated, and new info will be added. That video is shaping up to be about 2 hours long. I might add a new recap or 2 just to shake things up. But with all that out of the way, I hope you all have a safe, fun weekend. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
So, I've got a free chair. How about a little trim? I promise I won't take off too much. Shave and a haircut, 2 bits.